Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Slaying Self Doubt Podcast. And it is episode 300. Burn, 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 burn. We homegrown over here, so I don't have any of those those noises. What's that? I don't even know what it's called. Like it's a little box that you can make noises on. I have no idea. So we make all our own noises over here. Burn, 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 burn. Yay! All of that. All right. So yay, here we are at episode 300. And it is also the final episode of the Slaying Self Doubt podcast. My, we have come a very, very, very long way. But before we get into all of that, I want to say welcome to all of the new listeners, whether you found me by way of social media, Google, YouTube, someone shared this with you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Although this is the final episode, I told you it's 300. So that's, you got 299 more to go listen to. You go backwards. All right. And, share it. Continue to share the podcast with whoever God lays on your heart, whoever you feel like needs to hear this. My intention, even in sunsetting the podcast and ending here, is to continue to spread encouragement, love, and keep telling you to keep slaying it, sis. Okay, so we finally made it here, and I did not do this the first couple ones, and I think the last, so episode 297, I wasn't prepared. Episode 298, 299, I didn't think it was going to be emotional, but this is episode 300, so you can't see this on in the podcast, but on YouTube I got my tissues this time, just in case. Okay, I'm gonna pull them out just in case. What they be doing on I don't even have no makeup on, but what they be doing, on the in the reality TV, they be having a little corner joints so they can just hit their corners. We'll see. We'll see. But this is, I want to say that I probably have been, not have been, I know that I have been procrastinating on even recording this episode because I know it's the last one, and I know there will be another. It won't be another one. I won't be doing this again. And so I think that there have been some hesitation on my part to do it because I knew what it meant. I knew that this was the end, and I am sad about it, right? It's like a bittersweet moment. It's like this really depicts the season that I'm in right now, okay? Because my oldest, my baby, is about to graduate high school, and this is a season where he's going to be moving forward, right? And so this feels like the same thing for Slaying Self Doubt. Slaying Self Doubt is my baby. This literally was birthed from me, the podcast, like the blood, sweat, tears, not no blood, but sweat and tears, and just the effort, you know what I'm saying, that it took, and the things that I was doing as I was building the podcast, the brand, just all of the things that the blessings that came from it, the things that God had asked me to do throughout it while I was doing it, like it is overwhelming. And so to be at a space right now where I'm going to have to say, go be free, whatever have you, does feel a little, it's bittersweet, right? Because I just know that I can tell that I'm nervous, right? I can't do. I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel extra fidgety today. Some of it I think is just because I really don't want to get emotional, but it's probably going to happen. It happened in the beginning, and so who knows? But I don't think this is going to be a long episode. But I did want to just wrap this up in the bow, right? Just all that we have been talking about through how I started, the stuff that people didn't see, the doubt that I felt, how it grew me, walking in purpose, being obedient, just all the things. Just God really used this platform to bless me in so many ways. And so I have the first thing that I have is gratitude. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to use my voice. I think there was a period of time that I wasn't sure how to use my voice and what it would be like to show up in any space like this, right? And I think it's interesting to note for myself is that years ago, if you've been here, You already know. But at the end of the day, this is the end. So I like whatever I say, go back if it's confusing to you. That's just all I can say. But I feel like that initially in my job, like I don't know where I lost my voice, right? Not literally in the sense, but in losing it, I feel like it wasn't worthy. It didn't make any sense. Nobody was going to hear me. What I didn't have enough to say, and I carried that into this podcast of saying like I don't like I told y'all from the beginning, like I was like, who's going to listen to me? Like just rambling for 30 or 40 minutes talking about anything, and I realized that I wasn't alone, right? And so in feeling gratitude, the gratitude is just thank you for listening, right? Thank you so much for tuning in, for sharing, um for those who have seen me in person to be like, I know who you are, slow yourself down. Like those type of things still bring me like it brings me so much joy, but it let me know that I have fulfilled this purpose in the way that I was supposed to do. Like I am confident I showed up exactly how I was supposed to. When I left my job 6 years ago, one of the things that I said was like, I want to walk away from this and know that it's done. And I've said this even when I started this final series is that I don't burn no bridges because you just hey, let me tell you something. That's a life lesson for anybody. Don't burn no bridges because you never know when the tables are turning. You're gonna need somebody for something. So, yeah, hey, character matters. How you treat people matters. No matter what comes out your mouth, how you treat people matters. So I don't burn no bridges. So even in this space, I didn't want to be fluke about it. I wanted to walk away from this podcast with integrity and to know that I completed it, right? There's a sense of completion. I could put it down and know that it's good because I did. I gave it everything that I had. And that was the same way I felt when I left my job. Like could I have just left? I could have. Like they only required us to give them as a leader 30-day notice, right? And I stayed on for 90 days, 90 additional days to stay on to not only transition myself out, but to prepare things for the new person, to help train somebody else in a whole nother office. Okay. Like I did a whole lot of stuff knowing I was on my way out the door and I felt peace about it. And it's the same way I felt doing these last 4 episodes. It's just peace. Like this moment right here reminds me of my last day, right? I went and I knew I'd worked there for 11 years, right? So I knew so many different people, so many different offices. Everybody was like, come see me before you leave, blah, 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 blah. And I started with my home office and I went in, I gave everybody hugs and told all the girls something, from my heart, very special to physicians, all of that. Oh my gosh, what is happening? And they was like, "You're not coming back?" And I said, "No, I can't. I had to start with y'all because I would be no good by the end of the day. I couldn't end coming back in here and saying bye to y'all like it just would have been too hard. And so I wanted to start with telling them bye, right? And so yeah, like that's how it feels. It feels like I'm about to be in shambles. Because I think something that my therapist told me is that you put your heart into it. And I think when you put your heart into something and no matter how it ends, whether it's on good terms or on because you have to move on, it hurts, right? And so I think that's what I'm feeling right now. Like I'm grieving this part, even though I'm excited for what's to come. And so I just want to thank y'all so much for just being a part of this journey and just listening to me for all of these years, because who would have thought? Because I wouldn't have. Um, so gratitude, right? That's my first thing. The second thing is legacy, right? One of the things I was thinking about, I was telling my therapist last week, was like, I don't know what to do because in order for the podcast to stay on and for people to listen, like you gotta keep paying the platforms, right? Like I gotta keep paying the software that carries the Lipson is where I download all my stuff. So in order for this to continue, right, I have to keep paying them. And so I'm grateful the whole time I've been using it. It's been like $20. I think they're going up next month and it's about to be like 25. still I can manage that, right? And so I just, and she was like, well, you really need to think about what it is, like, is that part of it? And I said, um yeah, like, I wanted to continue, like, this isn't me sunsetting. It has nothing to do with the people, it has everything to do with me. But I still want a place for people to be able to go to get encouragement, to hear other women's stories about how they hear other women's stories about how they slayed their self doubt, how, like, what other people were doing. Like, for me, this is what we would call evergreen content, right? This applies no matter what you're doing, right? And so the legacy really is that you're going to continue to hear the voice. It just won't be new stuff, not in this way anyway. Um, Oh, matter of fact, let me shut up because I don't know what the Lord gonna do. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be back. We'll see. But for now, I was like, I just told her, like, I'm thinking about my legacy. And not only is it this way, like through the podcast, but also, through the people who have listened and who have, asked me to be a part of different things, or the women who have their own brands and they are connected to slaying self-doubt. Like, baby, because if you Google some people, it's gonna say she was here. Okay, she was on this podcast. And so I am grateful that even if God is telling me to have a seat in this space, that because of the women that I've connected with over the years, that my legacy lives on through them in their businesses, right? And so that I am forever grateful for. I think the other thing that I'm super grateful for as far as legacy is concerned is my kids. Like, they watched me do this. You know what I mean? Like, they literally watched me build this brand and become the woman I am today. And so that by itself was worth it, for them to be able to see their mom slay their self doubt in a multitude of arenas. They've seen me nervous, they've seen me cry, they've seen me happy, they've seen me frustrated when it came to this, and they continue to push through. I remember when my son was a couple of years, like maybe in middle school, he'd be like, I was telling the people about your podcast, I'm wearing your bracelet, and I told people they should listen to your podcast. And I'm like, they was really riding for me, right? And so I'm grateful that I it's a part of our family's legacy. And then I think lastly, the biggest one of all is that I am slaying self doubt. Like, I am my legacy. And one of the things that I had to continue to remind myself is that even when the podcast is gone, even when the coaching is gone, or if there are no more speaking engagements, if there are no more public, outwardly facing opportunities for slaying self doubt to be present, like anywhere Felicia Wallace shows up, so does slaying self doubt. And I think that means more to me than anything, because during this journey, I think is when I was trying to figure out, like, what does it look like to officially slay your self doubt. And I think plenty of times I've said, I don't think it ever happens, right? And I do still believe that, because every time God levels you up, you're going to be nervous. Every time God levels you up, you're going to have nervousness and doubt and fear and insecurities that are going to pop up, and you got to do them anyway. But I think for me, this is me overcoming my self doubt, being able to walk away from this and to know without a shadow of doubt that I am slaying self doubt. That is me overcoming it for myself. It means that every room I walk into, every space that I'm in, every conversation I'm in, whatever it is that I'm doing, I am her and she is me, right? And so for me, I think I believe that that was God's purpose um, for this season, is for me to know that was for me to know I'm slaying self doubt. And that in itself, can't nobody take that from me. And um, that's what's up. That's what I got there. That's what's up. That definitely yeah, that's a kudos to me and him. Me and the Lord. Praise Jesus. Okay. So yeah, gratitude, legacy, what that looks like, and even in whatever the legacy looks like, it's still being built. Okay. The story continues. I have no idea. Um and but what I do know is that I did something scared. I did something brave. I did something that made me super uncomfortable. And I showed up anyway on sick days, on hard days, on frustrating days, on crying days, on emotional days, on grieving days, on however many days they are. I showed up anyway. And so this proves to me I can do hard things. I knew I could, but this proves to me I can bet on me, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, and keep it moving. Right. So I'm grateful and I'm proud of my legacy. And I'm looking forward to the future. So, the future, what does that look like? I don't know. I had so many ideas of what I thought it was, right? And I am comfortable with saying, I don't know. I think that's really what it is. I am taking this season to be present. The future looks like whatever God wants it to be. And I'm okay with that. Um, right now, in this current moment, what life looks like for me is being present for my kids, being present for my son transitioning into adulthood and going to college. And then my youngest is right behind him. So it's not really a whole lot of space for me. It's not like I got a senior and a ninth grader or a senior and, a seventh grade. I got a senior and a 10th grader. Okay. So once he gone, I'm really replaying this. So, I don't know what it would look like. What I would like for it to look like, hopefully, hope, and whoever's listening, tap, 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 making sure this mic is on. If this is you and you're able to afford me this opportunity, I might be willing to do it. Okay. But what I would like to do is more speaking engagements, more panels. Um, to me, that is, and this is in no disrespect to anybody, but it's easier for me to show up to where something is already happening as opposed to me having to build something. And that's just the honest truth. Like, it's easier for somebody to say, hey, are you available on this date to speak on this panel about yada, yada, yada? Sure. There may be some prep I might need to do. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have, you got to go back, but Judges 6:14. Go with the strength you have. I am sending you. That is my scripture that I lean on, that I lean into every single time I have to do something. In most cases, there's preparation. Whenever I have to do anything, I'm just being honest with the people. Okay, it's just me being honest, and it may be like, I don't know, a couple of days. But there's another side. I don't know if it's 50-50, maybe 75-25. I don't know what it is. That I just pray and show up. And sometimes I laugh at it because I be like, I'm a wingeter. But I have learned in this season that this is my gift. And so some things don't require the same amount of effort it requires for somebody else. And so for me, I would like to do things that are it's low effort for me. And low effort for me is speaking engagements and um panel discussions, like where I just have to show up and be me. That I can do with ease because it's my gift, right? And so in this season, I don't have the energy, the capacity to build anything, to like, what I wanted to do was like switch this over and make it a YouTube-ish channel with like production block. I don't have the time. I really like I just don't. I don't have the time to do that. And so even I've talked to some people about it, what it would look like, yada yada yada. I ain't got it. Right. So for me, it's just not me. I don't have it. Like I'm honest enough with myself now at this big age of 45, okay, to be like, I can't do that. That it is not, it's not a win for me and it's not a win for the people because I already know I'm being inconsistent. I already know I'm not going to keep showing up. I know I'm going to be wasting your time, my time, and the people's time. So I'm not doing that. So if there was anything I could do, it would be to do speaking engagements. I'd go on somebody else's podcast, right? Because you a guest. That's an hour or so, maybe, to talk to people. Like I let me just use my gift, and that is what I would like. So that is what I'm putting out. I am manifesting. I am talking to the Lord about it, and whatever that's going to look like, it's going to look like. However, I do know that my family is coming first in this season. Like I got to get 2 kids off to college in the next 3 years. That's real talk. And let me tell you something. This ain't 1998, okay? Because that's when I graduated. And this is different, all right? This was struggling this year. Okay. Do you hear me trying to figure out all the things? And now I know all the information. So I got to use that towards my youngest son. So I got to use the energy that I have not left, Jesus. I have to use the energy that I have right now in the space that is going to make the most sense. And right now, what makes sense is my family. Obviously, my vocation and working or whatever working, got to do that. But when I think about this is the reason why the legacy being me is perfect, right? Because I don't have to. I show up as slaying self doubt at work. Um, I don't know if y'all heard that, but my phone rang. FaceTime. I show up as slaying self doubt at work, and so for me, I ain't worried about it. Like it's all good. That's the I show up in my family that way. So the legacy being me is perfect. Like God knew that, and everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. The start of it to the end of it, like it is the a perfect. Man, I'm telling you, when you have that epiphany moment where you know that God really orchestrated something in your life at a perfect time in a perfect way in order for this is the like literally what I'm living is the Lord won't put more on you than you can bear, right? I'm watching this in real time. Like, no, take that away, because you need your energy, your emotions for this. You can't spread this thin, right? And then other times, I remember times where I was doing everything, and like, how did I have the energy to do all of that? I don't know, but this right here is showing me God knew, and so in short, what the future is going to look like, I don't know. Stay tuned. That's all I got for you. The channels will be open. I will forever be slaying self doubt. I'm not changing my handles or anything. It's me, right? That is. I am slaying self doubt. So it's not going anywhere until the Lord tells me otherwise. So, um, yeah, I just a final thank you for being here, for being present, for pouring into me. For those of you who have ever emailed, DM'd, seen you in public, just giving me encouragement. I needed it, and I'm grateful for it. Um, I know this may be the ending of just this podcast, but slaying self doubt will live on forever. I know it because I hear it. When people see slaying self doubt or slay self doubt, people like, I had thought of you. Or I get people when they are and I think I said this before, somebody had written something or they did something big, and I will congratulate them, and they like, I was thinking about slaying self doubt, the entire time. Like they have to slay their self doubt. And so I'm grateful that God gave this to me, and that I was the vessel to be able to put this message out into the world. And so, I want to say from the bottom of my heart again, just thank you so much. Um, I love you. I hope that um, this holiday season and as you go, because we're into 2025 as well. Because I definitely knew one thing's for certain, two things for sure. I could not carry this into 2026. So I was very intentional about making sure that I finish this series out before the end of 2025 and put it out because I got to be able to close the chapter on this. And so, um, so far, the book of Slaying Self Doubt podcast is closed. This book is closed. It's the final farewell, and I just want to tell y'all thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but the best. And my final encouragement is that remember that your doubts don't disqualify you. I am evident of that. Remember that your obedience will carry you through. I am evident of that. And remember that you have to trust God with the outcome of your obedience. Obedience is your responsibility. And so, wherever God is calling you to, wherever He is um, directing you, prompting, whatever word you want to use, my encouragement is to follow that. Do what it is that He is calling you to do so that you are able to come out on the other side and hear well done. And I know that 300 episodes later, I've, I've done well. So well done to me. Clap, 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 clap. Okay. Um, and so, yeah, my encouragement is for us to go out here and slay our self doubt. Continue to push past your fears. Continue to ask the questions. Continue to just be who God has called you to be, even if you were scared. And if at any given time you feel uncertain about that journey and what it looks like, come back on over here and listen to one of these episodes and let it be encouragement to you. But until next time, whenever that will be, until we meet again, keep slaying, sis. See ya.